I have 12 works in progress and today we're gonna go through them all. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a little bit of a different video because I'm going to be showing you all of my works in progress and we're gonna decide together whether to frog or finish them. I am someone that likes a little bit of a change. I'm definitely not a monogamous knitter, so I do feel perfectly fine having multiple works in progress, but 12 is a little steep. And I also want to cast on a new project that I will discuss at the end of the video. I'm gonna get started with the work in progress that has been on my needles the longest, which is the Earth Pullover by Ozetta. For those that don't know this design, it's a really lovely drop shoulder sweater, just plain up and down, worked top down I mean, with short rows in the back. It's a really great pattern. I really love this pattern. I love the yarn, I love the color, even though it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, so to speak. It's all great. And the reason why I haven't finished this one yet is because it's mostly just stockinette. I just get a little bit bored knitting stockinette in an all-over sweater, like only stockinette, like nothing else. It's just, it doesn't really excite me working on it. But now actually when I'm holding it again, I love the fabric that this created. This is knit with 2 strands of Drops Flora, which is a fingering weight yarn. So together it kind of creates a DK weight yarn, but this sweater is knit in an Aran weight yarn. Although the pattern also recommends or suggests 2 fingering weights held together. The fabric is very lovely, the design is too, so this is definitely one that I'm intending to finish. So I will show you what I have so far. It's just the entire body and a sleeve is done, except for that one last sleeve that, yeah, I've just really not felt the urge or the motivation to pick up the stitches and knit it, even though it will be very quick. I think at the end of this video I am going to choose a couple of these WIPs and prioritize them to finish them, and then after those are finished I think I will cast on something new. So that is WIP number 1 that has been on my needles since December 25th, which for me is quite a long time. It's almost 3 months and I never really have a sweater for 3 months. Then my next work in progress, I don't even remember when I cast this one on. This is supposed to be a new design. It kind of started out as another version of the cardigan that I'm wearing, which is my own design. Hopefully will be released soon, but I'm going to be knitting another sample. So it's going to take a little bit longer, but this was supposed to also be another sample fit. But I changed my mind on that because the fabric of this is just a little bit too light for the design that I think it is. I think this is more of an Aran typical cardigan weight, and this is really fluffy, even though I am knitting it on 5mm needles. It's just too lightweight. Sorry, I had to close the blinds because it was just way too sunny out here. But the fabric, like I said, is just too light to really represent this design properly. So then I decided that the construction is here with the nice poofy shoulder. So why not turn it into a blouse, which I still think is a very lovely idea and I really like it. I just really have not felt the motivation again to work on it, to pick it up. I think it also has something to do with the yarn again. This yarn is really lovely though. It's the Alpaca Maya from Viking garn. I don't have anything against this yarn. I love the color, I love the feel, it's very soft. I think I'm just knitting it not on the proper needle size, because this yarn is for a 7mm needle and I thought it would be fine knitting it on the 5mm needle. But because the yarn is so fluffy, it really sticks together and it makes the knitting experience quite unpleasant on the 5mm needle. And of course, if I don't enjoy knitting on it because of the yarn, then I'm not going to pick it up, I'm not going to continue it. So I guess you know the answer for this one, that this one is going to be frogged, unfortunately. But I will have my needles freed up to knit the other sample of this cardigan, so that's at least a good thing. Next up we have a really cute cardigan. This is the cardigan number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I've actually joined in the round this morning, so this is still an active WIP of mine and I really love it. It's really different for me. I've never marled like colors together in a yarn and it's really exciting. Also, it just makes me feel like spring and summer. I think it will be really cute when the weather starts warming up. I have quite a lot of like white dresses, white shirts, those kind of things. I really like cream and whites, especially in the summer. And I think this would be such a cute pop of color paired with that. And I can wear this like as a jacket. That's kind of what I'm intending during that season. So this is how the colors are looking. And this is done with 3 yarns held together. So the main yarn is Drops Air in the color Wheat, which is this one. And this is a blown yarn, so it's super lightweight, really nice, because this sweater does call for, I think, 5.5mm needles, so it's quite a bulky knit. And using a blown yarn will really make it lighter while still being able to knit something at a higher gauge, or like, yeah, like or a looser gauge. I don't know, like a bigger needle size. And then I'm holding it together with two mohair cones. One of them is that bright fuchsia cone that was in my background for a lot of my videos. And then the other one is a lilac cone. And I'm kind of worried that I may not have enough of this one, but I'm just going to continue and then we'll see. Maybe I'll have to find a dupe for it that is close in color, but let's hope not. Then I've done all of the increases, of course, in the front, and now it's just going to be knitting the body straight and then probably the button band, which is double knitting, which I love, and then the sleeves, and then it will already be finished. So I know that's still a long way to go, but for me somehow it feels like there's not a lot to do, and I'm not in a hurry or in a rush to finish anything. I think also the pro of having 12 WIPS is that you don't have to cast anything on. I think casting on a new project is always the worst thing. Like, it's very exciting that you're gonna work on something new and see how something is knitting up, and a design, like a pattern and a yarn coming together and creating something like you imagined. But just the actual method of casting on and then knitting the first few rows really is not exciting and fun to me. So I think it's good that I have so many actually. My next work in progress apparently doesn't count as a work in progress because it's a blanket. And I've always heard people say that blankets don't count. So maybe I only have 11. I've not worked on this since I last showed you in my, I think, last knitting podcast or the one before that, I'm not sure. But this is the Sweet Shop blanket by Penrose. Absolutely love knitting this one up. It's really fun, and with the short rows it makes it very exciting and engaging, which I really love. The garter stitch is very soft and squishy, and I also love that I'm able to use up some scrap yarns, and also just pairing them together is a lot of fun and coming up with the color combinations. A blanket for me is of course also not something that I intend to finish very quickly. This could be on my needles for a year or longer or shorter. I don't know. It also depends on the scraps that I have. Right now I do have quite a bit of scraps that I can use up in this. But if I work on this too much, pretty soon I am going to run out. So I do think it's best to not work on this too much, and then like the scraps will kind of keep coming, but they will also keep going. So then in the end I will have a very lovely blanket. I don't want to put scraps in it for the sake of knitting on it. I really want to be also a little bit intentional about my color choices in this, because I do want to use it on my sofa, and we all know I have a little bit of a color palette going. So it would be nice if it kind of matches my current aesthetic, so to speak. So I'm not in a rush, but it's a really lovely pattern, and I would really recommend if you want to get rid of some scraps. So this one is definitely going to be staying. Then the next work in progress is a little accessory. This has kind of been like on the back burner. This is the Frosty apple hat by Drops Design. It's a free pattern, as all of their patterns are, and it's just a simple 1x1 ribbed hat. And I didn't really touch this for a while until I started my new job in the fabric store and found that this is kind of the perfect knit to bring with me on my breaks. But my break is only 30 minutes and I only work 2 days a week, so it's not a lot of knitting time that this gets done. Also because I have to eat, of course, on my break, so I'm not really working a lot of it. So I will show you. It's very stretchy also because it really looks really small, but I think it's going to be nice. And it's going to be a single folded hat. So it's going to like fold like this. And then I just have a little bit to go and then do the decreases. I'm knitting this in a yarn that's kind of a dupe to the Drops Air, or the other way around, however you want to see it. It's the Gazzal Alpaca Air, so it's also a blown fiber yarn. And it's creating a really lovely and beautiful fabric, very lightweight. I definitely want to finish this one relatively soon because it's actually quite cold still here in the Netherlands. So I'm thinking that if I finish it soon-ish, then I can still wear it, especially because I always have cold ears. So it will be perfect start of spring, also in this like nice light color. This is knit on 3.5mm needles on small circulars. These are circulars of 40 centimeters, which I really like to use for a hat. And then for the decreases, I will switch to magic loop. Then I also have a cute little stitch marker that was in my shop a while ago. I don't think it's available anymore, but if it is, I will put it on the screen. So that is just a nice small work in progress, and it's very portable. I can just literally like squish it up and stuff it in my bag, and it has been absolutely fine. Then the other work in progress that is small are a pair of socks. This is my test knit for the Fiorellini Socks by In Her Skein. I have finished the test knit, so the pattern has actually been released right now. And I did finish that one sock that I showed in my knitting podcast. And I'm working on my second sock. I think I haven't touched this, maybe in a week. I finished I think this is called the heel flap or the gusset or whatever it is. And now it's time to pick up the stitches and start decreasing, which is my least favorite part of socks. I definitely don't mind this construction, but I definitely don't love it either, if you know what I mean. So I'm kind of procrastinating this a little bit, and then of course with all of the other works in progress, it's very easy to not work on it because there are other options out there. I think maybe if I only had 3 works in progress, this definitely would have been finished already, but it's in no rush, and I do love this pattern. The yarn that I'm using is Drop Snort in a really lovely baby pink colorway. And I think these socks are going to be so cute for the spring, maybe paired with some loafers or something like that. I have a pair of black loafers, but I actually think I would prefer brown loafers, and this would look really cute with some brown loafers and like a cream dress or something like that. I'm envisioning something here. Next up we have a little crochet project, so that's exciting. This is going to be a crochet project bag. I've really not touched this in quite a while. It's also something that's very mindless, so it doesn't really excite me very much, but I think it will be really nice once it's finished, I hope. But it's in this really nice brick red or brick orange color. Then this is just acrylic yarn from Zeeman, so Dutchies will know it. It's this one. I believe this one is called Royal. No, it's not. It's called Dream. I will show you the full one. Yeah, it's called Dream, and it's 100 grams for 190 meters. It's this one. I don't necessarily love this yarn. There are a lot of like fluffs like this that come off of it whilst you're working on it, which is quite annoying. So I definitely don't love that. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Maybe 100% acrylic would be better for this purpose, and maybe it's the wool that is causing the fluffs to go everywhere. It's not the best. Is this going to be finished? I don't know. This is something that I'm in doubt of. I think for now it can stay because I don't have any other intentions or plans with this yarn. I got this yarn specifically to make a crochet bag, and I really don't think I would use it for anything else rather than a crochet accessory. I don't really wear acrylic, so I'm not drawn to making a garment out of it. So I think I'm going to stick with my plan of making this, and it's going to be a bucket bag style. And then I'm going to put some flowers on top, which look like this, and they are the little puff flowers, which are super fun to make. So that was definitely the most exciting part of this project. There are going to be more, I think. I think I have to make more to be able to fill it up nicely, but I have to wait until the actual base of the bag is finished, and then I will see how much I need to make. So that is just a little crochet project on the side, but I do have 2 other crochet projects, one of which has been in the works for quite a while, but not actively. So I'm just gonna show you. I am making a crochet vest with granny squares. And I originally didn't really have a pattern for this. I was just making granny squares, and then I thought I would see at the end what I'm gonna do with them. But now I'm kind of halfway with like having enough granny squares to create a vest. And I'm going to be following a pattern by someone that I follow on Instagram. And she also has a blog. I think her name is Bethany, but I'm not entirely sure. So I will put it on the screen and also link her account in the description. But it's basically a really simple crochet granny square vest with some ribbing. So I'm gonna show you the granny squares that I've made so far. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of halfway, so I don't really want to stop. And I absolutely love all the colors that I picked together. The main yarn for the outside is Drops Air. And then I'm using leftover fingering yarn held double. So we also have this one. So they're all like in the same type of colors, just brown, pink and yellow. Very typical of me, I know, but it's what I like, so it's what I do. It's what I do best, I guess. So I'll show you these. I think these are, 6 different designs altogether that are going to be in here. And I will put it on the screen how much I need to make more and kind of the layout that I had planned for it. I think this is going to be a really nice vest for the spring and summer. So this is something that I really want to prioritize in the upcoming time. I would also highly recommend the Drops Air for the granny square purpose. It's just a lovely lightweight fabric, and I find that crochet generally weighs quite a bit. And with this, it really doesn't. It's so lightweight and fluffy, and I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful when it's done. So these are the main colors that I'm using in the Drops Air. And then these are all the fingering weights. So we have a walnut verve sock yarn. I use this one in my pressed flower shawl. Any leftovers are going to be in my blanket. Then we have, this is Tin Peer Gint by Sanda's Garn. Then another walnut verve sock yarn. But it's a really nice light pink with some rust and black speckles here and there. Okay, so I have 5 more works in progress to show you. So let's just keep going. My next work in progress is one that is super exciting to me because it's one of my dream knits. And I spoke a bit about it in my last video where I showed you all of my spring knitting and sewing plans. So this is my vintage cardigan that is, yeah, like I said, my dream finished object, I think. And I'm currently working on the back. So I will just insert a picture on the screen right now of the pattern that I'm making. It doesn't really have a name. The title on my printed pattern literally just says Ladies Cardigan. So there you go. It is a paid for pattern, but I think it's just someone that reproduces these patterns. So I'm not sure about the legal aspect of it, but I'm assuming that it's okay. I'm not sure. But like I said, it is paid for. It was around €3, so it was very affordable. It is worked flat from the bottom up, which I've never done before. And for some reason, that has been the part that is really exciting me. I feel like it's a really nice change, and it also works up really quickly, like only working through the back and then continuing to the front and then the sleeves. I find it very exciting, and I'm making the smallest size, which I believe is for a 80 centimeter bust, which is a 31 inch bust or 32, something like that. So this is the back so far. We have 1x1 ribbing with some eyelets on top, and then this is called a rice stitch pattern, which I've never done before, but it's super duper easy and it creates a really fun fabric. So definitely something that maybe I will include in any future designs of mine. Then we have a diamond cable pattern with some bubbles, then a very simple center cable, and then it just like mirrors it exactly on the other side. And currently I am on the raglan shaping. So it is a raglan or like dolman sleeve cardigan. I think the raglan is going to be quite deep. I'm not sure how I'm going to be feeling about that. But I just love the vintage aspect of it. Usually I would buy vintage cardigans because I absolutely love them. I also expected the pattern to be a little bit of a struggle. I've never really followed a vintage knitting pattern, like only a few times, but not for something like this. But it actually has been absolutely fine, and funnily enough also, the pattern is only 2 full pages, which I just find very interesting. It has been really easy to follow, so this really has been, I think, my favorite work in progress that I have going on. So this is definitely going to be finished. I'm very excited to do some embroidery on top, like my inspiration pictures, and then to choose the buttons. I love choosing buttons, even though they really make or break a garment. It's really fun. And yeah, my favorite dream knit ever. It's super exciting. My next work in progress is one that I started for my upcoming holiday. It's going to be very fun, vacation, and I wanted to do a little crochet project with granny squares. In hindsight, I probably could have just done the vest, but I guess I wanted to start something new, and I kind of forgot about it maybe. So I'm working on the Ariana cardigan by Barocco. It's a free pattern, so you can get it on Ravelry. There are like 600 projects on there, so there's a lot of inspiration to be found. And I'm making it with my main color as Drops Charisma in a cream color. I had this in my collection and it seemed like a really nice neutral, and it's a superwash yarn, which I don't absolutely love, but in a crochet project I think it's perfectly fine. And then for the granny squares, I'm doing a lot of special yarns together, and I think that will be a really nice memory of this holiday. I'm not planning to finish this during the holiday because it's only a week and this is a really big project, but I think it will be fun to work on it there as well. So I'm going to show you some of the yarns that I have. This is it's their merino singles in the color Dried Rose. And it's a lovely mustardy yellow color with definitely a green undertone and lots of pink and rusty. So this is Life in a Long Grass in the color Glow, which is an absolutely beautiful colorway. It's very like a nice warm pink with some yellow speckles in there. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we have a wool met verve sock yarn in a really nice purple with some orange speckles in there. And all of these I'm holding double because this pattern is for a DK weight. And then I picked up 2 new yarns. This is Gazzal Wool Star in the color Antique Moss. So this is a superwash merino fine wool. And then we have Gazzal Wool Star in the color Pumpkin Spice, which is absolutely gorgeous rusty brown color. And then all together, that's creating this. So I'm going to be making the smallest size. And I think I have to make 48 of the full grannies and then like 12 or 14 of the half granny squares. And I'm going to be doing 4 of each color combination. So this is one of them. So I'm also working on them in batches of 4, which is really nice and convenient. And then this is the second one. Very cute. I was not sure how I felt about the purple in here. It definitely looks a little bit off right now. But I'm going to continue as I have planned and then just see how it is. I think once I have some other combinations of granny squares, it will look more intentional. Right now it's looking very moody and dark. But then of course you have to also remember that my main color is also going to be light. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be super cute and definitely a long-term project, but so fun to just make some granny squares here and there. I also love the needle size. It's a 3.75mm hook and it's creating a really nice fabric with the fingering weight held double. I am also considering adding this one of my hand-dyed yarn in there. I'm keeping one for myself, so there's still one in the shop in case you want to match with me. Because I think this could be quite a nice match as well. Let me show you. So we have these. And then with this, I think that could maybe make it a little bit more springy and light. I'm not sure. But maybe that's what I'm going to do. And this is a non-superwash merino. Fingering weight also. So it definitely also suits the other yarns that are in there. So I think that's going to be the plan. My next work in progress is my Esther jacket by Petite Knit. And this is a difficult one. Like, I'm so unsure about this one. I keep going back and forth, like frogging it, finishing it, frogging it, finishing it. I don't know. But this is what I have so far. I've only really done the increases on the back. I really like the color. I think this is a really nice color for this specific pattern, very vintage looking. The thing that is having me in a doubt is that this is like a seed stitch pattern and it's difficult to describe. There are a lot of charts, so you have to follow the charts, which I don't have a problem with. The problem that I have is that the charts then of course is only knits and purls. And for me that doesn't really make a lot of sense because when I'm doing knits and purls, I want it to be mindless. And if I'm following a lot of charts, I want it to be really fun and engaging. So I want to do cables, lace or bubbles, something along those lines. So this doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I maybe should have known just by looking at the design that it was going to be charted. And I guess I did know, but I didn't expect myself to not enjoy this as much. There are also, you know, spacings between the mass stitch design. So I actually have to look at the chart and then always remember and kind of count how many stitches are in between. And I just find it so annoying and tedious. Saying all of those things, maybe I should just get over it and frog it. I don't know, because I do really love this design and I've said it before, I think I would wear it a lot. But I think there are a lot of other patterns out there, so I think I'm just kind of waiting to find something better, or maybe I have to design something myself. I was knitting this with 2 strands of fingering weight held together. This is the Merino 4-ply by Novita. And then with a Gazzal mohair to create an Aran weight fabric on 5mm needles. I would like to just start something else with this yarn, honestly. But I can't. I need to finish things first. Like, I cannot be casting on new things anymore. Like, it needs to stop at some point. Oh. Then finally, we have one more work in progress. And this one doesn't have a name, I think. Because it's my own design and I don't remember what I named it. So maybe it's still unnamed. But it's going to be a vest. Like a sleeveless open vest with the front. And I've only done some increases on the back right now. So I still have quite a bit to go. It is currently garter stitch with bobbles, a braided cable, a diamond pattern that is going to have embroidery in the center, and then it's going to have seed stitch here on the side. And this is going to be my summary pattern design. I'm knitting this in a big Bio Balance by BC Garn, which is 55% pure organic wool and 45% pure organic cotton. And it looks like this. So it comes on hanks, which is really nice. It's quite affordable yarn. I only got 2 of these because it has quite a lot of yardage, 280 meters. Not sure if I'm going to be able to finish it with only 2 of them. Might have to buy another one. I can show you the little drawing that I made for my design. Kind of cover this up. So here you can kind of imagine what I have planned, but then here, like those diamonds are going to have the embroidery. I think very cute, right? And then my shoulder is going to have, I think, some ribbing like that. This is definitely going to be finished. I just really have not paid a lot of attention to it. I have not given it the love that it deserves because I've been so distracted with all of the 11 other things that I have going on. Now that I've gone through everything and spoken about it and it's all here on the floor, I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I am gonna be honest. But 2 of them are going to be frocked. So we've decided that the Esther cardigan is going to be frocked, or the Esther jacket. And then the Vivienne blouse, or whatever this was supposed to be. These are going to be frocked. So that brings me down to WIPS number 10. And then I do have to cast on number 11. I just have to, because like I said, I'm going to be making another sample of the Vivienne vintage cardigan, which will be released very soon. The pattern testing is finished, but according to testers' feedback, the shoulder portion is a little bit too large. So I am looking at the pattern all over again and kind of regrading it, which takes a lot of time. And I've also decided to change the shoulder shaping, which I think will improve the fit. Right now it's shaped like this, so it kind of goes in a diagonal line. And I want to change it that it goes straight here and then rapidly starts increasing to really create like an armhole effect. So it's definitely going to take away like some of this extra space that I have here. And I think it's going to be a good call. I of course could just release the pattern now as it is and with those adjustments. But I want to create another sample to really accurately show how the pattern is and what you're getting. So WIP number 11 is incoming and I need to make it fast. Not that I'm in a rush to publish that pattern, it's just that it has been in progress for quite a while, so it would be nice to finally be able to release it. It's knit on 5mm needles, so it's good that I have 2 projects going away with 5mm needles. So I have some space freed up there. So yeah, those were all of my 12s work in progress, soon to be 10 and then soon to be 11 again. Yeah. It's a lot, but I'm hoping to finish a lot of them for my next knitting podcast. That's also why I was kind of doubting to film a knitting podcast in the first place, just because it felt like I didn't know what to show you anymore. Like, do I show the things that I've worked on? Do I show the things that are hibernating? Then also with so many WIPs, there just is not a lot of progress because everything is kind of divided over a lot of different things. So I hope next podcast that is going to be different and there will be a lot of finished objects. I really hope you enjoyed sitting down with me, going through everything, and I hope to see you in my next video. For now, I wish you all a very happy day, happy knitting, and I will see you then. Bye bye!